Hey everyone, welcome to Aussie Footy Chats, episode 20, Sydney Trade Chats. So tonight I'm going to talk about the Sydney Football Club. I'm going to start with their season this year, which unfortunately wasn't that successful. They had a new coach come in, Dean Cox, replacing Horse after last year they made a grand final and unfortunately lost to the Brisbane Lions. So yeah, Dean Cox has come in and this was his first season as head coach and unfortunately wasn't that successful. So they've come into this trade period looking to make a few changes. So we're going to talk about the star trade of the trade period, and that's Charlie Curnow, who actually elected to leave Carlton, Coleman medalist, key forward. He's decided to leave Carlton and he went to Sydney. So that was Sydney had to exchange 3 first round draft picks for the star Coleman medalist, and that's the deal that they did with Carlton. He's a key position player who can play at full forward or centre forward. But yeah, he's a Coleman medalist who's a leading goal kicker in the AFL. And, he struggled a bit this year with form at Carlton. So he wanted to leave and he started fresh at Sydney. So a bit of a hefty price that they're giving up for him. He's going to be playing alongside Joel Marty and Logan McDonald. Logan McDonald had a few injuries this year. I know Joel Marty, I think, had a hamstring issue sometime this year as well. So they've elected to bring in a key forward. So it's quite interesting. They've gone for Charlie Curnow. Sydney have had a history of trading for big key forwards, from Plugger to Lance Franklin. So yeah, they've had that hole in their forward line since Lance Franklin, buddy, decided to retire. Congratulations to you, buddy. Amazing career and player. You're up there in the photos, mate, right there, jumping over and doing the hurdle, one of the greatest goals you could ever see. Running into the forward line and kicking a goal, jumping over someone like hurdles. So yeah, shout out to buddy. So they've gone for Charlie Curnow. I've seen some photos of him in the Sydney lineup doing some training. And yeah, it's quite interesting. He didn't do the time trials. I'll go through the Sydney notes in the preseason in future podcasts. So yeah, that's quite cool. That's who they've gone for through the forward line. And also, they've also gone for Jai Sarong. So they gave up a 3rd round draft pick for next year for Jai Sarong from Hawthorn. He's now joined Sydney. He was, in and out of the side at Hawthorn. Didn't really get much of a go. It was a hard defensive lineup to crack. It's probably arguably the best defensive lineup in the competition, Hawthorn. And they got Josh Battle last year and struggled. So Jai Sarong actually struggled to crack back into the side. Josh Battle's All-Australian. And yeah, Jai Sarong is a best and fairest player in the VFL for Hawthorn. And it's been hard for him, and he's elected to leave and get more opportunity at Sydney. So that's what they gave up for him. He's a second or third key defender who can sort of run and carry the ball. His brother plays at Fremantle. So yeah, Sydney got must offered up a nice deal because I believe he could have went to Freo. So yeah, Sydney must have offered a longer deal with a bit more cash. And they've elected to bring in sort of 2 key position players alongside Malcolm Rosa Jr. They did a trade with Gold Coast and brought him in. So yeah, they sort of bring him in, and yeah, it's quite interesting. They've elected to bring him. He didn't get much game time at Gold Coast in the last sort of year, and he's a small forward who can crumb and be around the feet of those players. So obviously Sydney have a smaller ground, so clunking full forward like Curnow will love that sort of ball delivered to him. And if he doesn't mark it, they've got Malcolm down there to crumb and grab around the football alongside Papley. A couple of star little small forwards around his feet. And yeah, so they also traded out Jack Buller. So they got a 2026 two 2026 third round pickups that were tied to Carlton and Collingwood, and a 2026 fourth round pick that was tied to Hawthorn, and a 2027 second round are tied to the Blues. So there's a mixture of picks there, but just had to add that in. They were combined all together. So obviously, yeah, they traded out Jack Buller to Collingwood, and yeah, that was a third round pick. Um, sorry, yeah, and a fourth round pick next year in the Jack Buller trade. So yeah, third round pick for Sarong, and a fourth round pick for Jack Buller in the trade. It's a bit of a tongue twister. I'll just add. They sort of lumped them all together in the summary here. And yeah, that's the whole combined picks that they did with the trades, which also seen Will Hayward being traded to the Blues alongside Ollie Florent. So they were in a separate sort of trade deal. But it's also, yeah, they were sort of the first round picks were tied with Will Hayward. So 3 first round draft picks and Will Hayward as a player, and Ollie Florent was a different deal, which was lumped in with all those picks that I did. It's quite confusing because they've done a large sum of picks and trades, and so yeah, they traded out Will Hayward, which they just re-signed just last year. So he's a South Australian native. The Crows sort of had a look at him. Port didn't really have the picks to sort of look at him or do a deal with the sort of Dan Houston trade. And yeah, he's gone along with the 3 first round picks to Carlton. And Ollie Florent has as well in a separate trade. Jack Buller is being traded to Collingwood. So Jack Buller is a young key forward. Played a few games at the back end of their season for Sydney. And Collingwood elected to pick him up. They've obviously needed a key forward with Mason Cox going and stuff like that. So they've added him in. And he'll get more opportunity at Collingwood after Sydney have gone to get Charlie Curnow. So yeah, I identified that to be a deal and what they wanted to get done. And just, yeah, talking about a few of the things here, just going through the list. So yeah, they're the players. Ollie Florent was sort of a half-back sort of wing. Could play on half forward, but yeah, he played sort of a utility role. He sort of was in and out of the side this year and never elected to trade him. So yeah, Carlton were happy to take a bit more of an experienced player after they've traded out a few players. And yeah, Will Hayward leaving. He was an explosive type half forward that would do a lot of running and up and down the ground and be crumbing around the centre forward or the full forward. And that's why I think Malcolm Rosa Jr. has come in to be mixed in with that. So yeah, with Will Hayward leaving, they bring in Malcolm, and just wanted to add that in. So that's really important. So yeah, they've got a couple good key position players: Joel Marty, Logan McDonald, now Charlie Curnow. So their forward line is essentially complete. It's going to be a big forward line if those players are fit, or they may need to have one miss out and play in the reserves. Jack Buller's only he was definitely not going to get a game in front of Charlie Curnow. So yeah, it's opportunities for him to leave. And yeah, so that's quite interesting. I'll just talk about the draft picks: 31, 32, 42, 63, 88, and 106. So not many obviously got rid of their first round draft pick to Charlie in the Charlie Curnow trade to Carlton. And a couple later, sort of ones 31, 32, 42, 63, and after that it all goes all the way to 106. And the 88. So yeah, quite late picks. So they're going to have to sort of pick up players that are late and fall through the draft. And yeah, so they're the players who arrived: Charlie Curnow, Jai Sarong, Malcolm Rosa Jr. The players who left: Will Hayward, Ollie Florin, and Jack Buller. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that with the picks. And yeah, it just was lumped in with so many trades that it was sort of probably sounded a bit mixed up with who they've got and who they traded out. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that. It was a bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, I'll go on to the delisted players. So delisted players that they got: it's Robbie Fox, Aaron Francis, India Kirk, and Blake Laidler, Caleb Mitchell, Ben Patton, Jake Lloyd, and Dane Rampy. So Jake Lloyd and Dane Rampy, I think, are both going to be rookie listed. They've just sort of did a bit of a salary cap dump. They're two sort of older. Jake Lloyd's obviously a halfback, and Dane Rampy's used to a third tall sort of type player. I mean, Jake Lloyd can almost run along the wing, but yeah, generally that was his sort of those two guys sort of roles. They're going to rookie list them. They had to make room for a salary cap, so they'll be rookie listed and be paid a rookie wage after playing a fair while at Sydney. Robbie Fox was an interesting one. He's a bit older. Was in and out of the side. Played a midfield wing type role, or could play down. He was a mixture, sort of utility type. Aaron Francis is an interesting one. He was a high draft pick at Essendon and then was traded to Sydney. South Australian native as well. Just couldn't quite make it. He was in and out of the side at both teams. Sort of a key position type player who could play up forward or in the defence. More of your third sort of tall. Moved around quite good. But yeah, they've traded him out and he's no longer on the list. India Kirk, he's son of Brett Kirk, a legend at the football club. I believe he's gone over to WA to play in the local stuff in the waffle. So yeah, he may end up getting a career somewhere in WA if he keeps playing well. And that explains their list with the listing and everything in between. So yeah, it's been a big one to explain. There were so many picks, and with the trade, and the summary here that the AFL are reading from was a bit confusing as well because they've lumped it all in together. But yeah, I see the fixture coming out today. I can sort of cover Sydney a bit, and we'll talk about their potential for this season. But good trade period, key forward. Did they really need to grab another key forward when they've got Joel Marty and Logan McDonald? I guess you could question Logan McDonald's injury history and also Joel Marty with the hamstring. But yeah, I mean, Charlie Curnow has had bad knees here or there, but no sort of major knee injuries. But yeah, I sort of don't want him to have bad injuries on his knees. No one does. No one wishes any bad injuries upon anyone. But yeah, they're the questions that that will be asked. Is he okay? Going to play a full year? And yeah, sort of, is his form going to pick up at Sydney? Yeah, I guess most times a new player at a new team will perform better. And yeah, will he perform? Will he like the smaller ground? Being on a smaller ground. Generally, key forwards do like that. They'll get more of the football and be right above it, and he can clunk some nice, big, strong marks. So yeah, they sort of didn't bring in a star midfielder to help their midfield. Whether they needed another running half-back type player. Also, Will Hayward leaving to bring in Malcolm to sort of try adjust that loss. But yeah, they do lose experienced half-forward and Ollie Florin, who could sort of be that utility type sort of small. He's no longer there, and he's in and outside of the team now, and they've elected sort of to go with Charlie Curnow and the mega deal. That was at the last sort of almost at the deadline of the trade period. And yeah, I think I've covered Sydney quite well, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. So yeah, like and subscribe, and yeah, please send this and share this with people who may be Sydney fans or anyone that likes football and enjoys the podcast. So yeah, thank you everyone. Cheers.